everyone, it's Sue here from Scrappy Doo Sue. Hope everyone's doing okay. I thought today I would try my hand at one of these accordion envelopes that I've seen other people make, and I was inspired with this version using paper bags by let's see, who was it? It was by Liz, the Paper Project, and I was watching her video and I thought what a great idea it was. Now I've seen people make them with book page, so I'm going to make two. I've got 8x8 Tim Holtz paper. This I've already cut down from an 8x8, and so what you need to do is, the only reason I've cut this down to this size, which is 4 3/4 wide, and it's the piece itself, so take the bags out, the piece itself is obviously the 8 inches tall. What I did was I just took the paper bags. The smallest ones I have are these, so let's do the paper bag one first. I might be making myself a bit unclear here. So you'll need some scrapbook paper, quite fairly thick. It doesn't have to be this card. This is Tim Holtz, and then if you're going to use the paper bag version, you'll need 2 paper bags. So whatever size the paper bags are, you're going to need to fit your cover to them. So that's why I've made it the size I have. Okay, so the first thing I did was cut down this. I folded these over and I've cut this so that they fit inside for the accordion part. So what Liz did was she just trimmed a slither from the bottom of the bags. So we'll do that now. You don't have to use your guillotine. You can cut them by hand if you're comfortable doing that. So we're opening out the bottoms. Okay, so all I've done is open the bottom of these bags up like this. Okay, and mine's got a bit of a cuff on it, so I will have to glue that down. When you're gluing your paper bags, be very careful. Just see if that, I left the lid off of this, unfortunately, hadn't realised. I'm just going to hopefully get it going again, which I have. Yeah, totally forgot and didn't realise it's gone a bit mushy. Okay, so I want to just seal the bits that are sticking up on my bags. Now, you know, you might have different bags. There seems to be quite a bit of a cuff here. I'm going to just trim mine a bit. So there's a loose piece now at the back here, so I'm just going to trim it there and there, because I think that will just impede. And then I'm just going to glue. Oh, this has gone all peculiar. Be very careful when you're using your glue stick, especially if it's sticky like mine is. I just want to glue that bit down. And obviously this bit here, I don't want anything sticking up. So that glue stick is ruined, I think, just by leaving the lid off. Oh dear. Right, so that one's okay. It's got a little bit of a tear there, but that's fine. So what I've done is I've folded it so that we've got the short edge opening here at the front and the big flap bit at the back. So literally just folded it up on itself like that. Okay, and we'll just do the same with this one. We'll have a look, see if this one's got any loose pieces anywhere. This could be slightly different, I don't know. That's flapping up a bit, so yeah, I knew this was a disaster. This glue stick is not happy, so we have to abandon that for now, that one. And let me see, have I got another one? Just hold on, I didn't want to use wet glue, sorry about that. Luckily enough I had another pack of these glue sticks, so this one should be fine because it's new. That's much better and a lot easier. Right, okay, that's a bit flappy, so we'll just run the glue all the way along there, like so, like that. Okay, so that one's fine, and again I just folded that one up on itself, so the big flap is at the back, but you might have bags that are just straight across. I didn't have, so okay, so we've got to make the concertina bit. Now I hope I remember this right. Let's put that one at the back because it's got a little tear. So we've made our cover and this fits, so I'll tell you the size of this again and I'll tell you where I scored it. Let me just put the lid on that. Okay, so obviously this is an 8 by 8, so this is 8 inches tall and it is 4 3/4 inches wide, because my bags are 4 3/4 inches wide, so it's just about a click over that because you want it slightly wider than your bag. And all I did was I scored it at 1/2 inch and then 2/16 of an inch, and then again I scored it at 3.5 inches, or in total that would have been 4 1/4 inches, and then another 2/16 for your gusset at the bottom, and then you're scoring it again then at, taking it from the top, you've got made your gusset there, so you're taking it down to 4 1/4 and then 2/16 and scoring it there, so you've got a tiny sort of gusset there and another one at the top like that, so that it looks like that, just to allow a little bit of room in those gusset envelopes, gusset accordion pieces inside, because obviously the idea for this is to put it in your journal, or you can send it with some happy mail in. Okay, so the next thing we do is you burnish your folds. So I've got a tiny flap at the top of mine. You can have a deeper flap if you want to. If your paper is 12 by 12 or something like that, you can have a slightly taller piece. So the next thing we're going to do is glue down these bags. So let's get my other glue page. So we're taking these and we're going to glue them together initially. I hope this is right. I think it is. Just wondering whether that needs to be folded that way round so that they are even at the back, because mine are slightly different shapes. So those would be glued. Okay, so we're going to take the two centre ones. So I've got one folded up on itself, and then I've got the other one folded up on itself as well, and they're going to be back to back. That's how I'm going to do it. Right, I've made a decision. So they're going to be back to back. Okay, so take your glue stick and be careful with this and kind of gauge it so that you've got about an inch either side here and here. So this is easy for me because I've got these lined bags. They're stripy, so I can say 3 stripes in on either side, and I'm going to probably do 4 stripes in, so that would be let's see, about 1 1/4 inches either side, and I'm just going to glue the middle. Okay, so we hold your bag down and be careful because they are quite delicate, and you're just gluing that section in the middle. Okay, like that. Then you're taking this bag and you're lining them up and give them a press down. You can use whatever glue you use. I just thought glue stick is easier than the wet glue for me. Okay, so that's the middle one done, and as you can see, that's already in accordion shape. So now we're going to glue this one to this one, and again I'm just going to gauge mine about here and glue that like that, and I am then gluing that down like so. I'll just give that burnish across like that, turn it over, pull up your front flap here, and then again you're just gauging a middle section. So I'm just going to run my glue stick down there because that's my middle, which I've eyeballed, and then I'm going to glue that down and press it down gently like so, and then hopefully we should have our, obviously we need to let it dry a bit, we should have our accordion pockets like so. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to take our cover. So that's the back of mine, this is the front flap, and that's the back flap. Okay, so again you're going to gauge your middle, and you're just going to glue that down. Obviously I'm not gluing anywhere on that flap there. Then I want to just line that up on my top score mark so that I've got, I just turn it round so I've got my gusset there. So I want to kind of make sure it's in the middle, and then I'm just going to press that down on there like so. Okay, so hopefully that will start opening out, and then we're doing the same with this back piece. So again we're taking the middle section here and we're going to then press that down to the back cover like so. I hope this is making sense. I've never made one before. I've watched the video. So there we have our concertina pockets. Okay, so now we've done that and it opens fine. What we can do now is we can decorate this. So I thought I would round the corners of my flap. That'd be the first thing I decided to do. Probably should have done this before I glued the accordion pieces in. So that has not rounded the corner very well, has it? So that was a bit of a mistake really on my part. Yeah, okay, or just try this side with the 7mm and see if that has worked. I think you need to kind of push it right in. Okay, just going to tidy that one up a little bit. Looks a bit like a mouse has gnawed it. And I think this one needs to be a little bit, because I did the first one with 10 first of all, and then I changed my mind, I did it with 7, so that it's slightly different shape. That's better. Right, okay, so that's a tip, probably round the corners before you stick your bags in. Okay, I quite like to round the corners of this, but I wonder if I can do it. Let me see. I just like the look of that a bit better than those sharp edges. So I'm just using a 7mm, pushing it right in, and that looks a lot better now. So that's now rounded, and so is the flap. Okay, so you can make whatever closure you want. You can use a magnet if you wanted to use a magnet closure, or you can use Velcro, or you can put grommet in here and have a tie round, or you can do what I'm going to do, which is a very simple one. I'm going to make a button closure, but not with anything around it. So I could do one of the button closures with a brad in the middle and stick that in there. But what I like to do is do one that I can tuck this under. So I'm going to use my 1-inch circle punch. I've got a scrap of Tim Holtz paper, and I'm just going to cut that circle out, and all I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to stick it on like that in the middle, so that I can pop that under there like that. I think that might be okay, because I've got quite a narrow flap, you see. If I had a wider flap down to here, I would have made a button and put some string around it, but I don't think it's going to work, because you need to put a kind of a brad in the middle, really. Yeah, I'm not too sure now what to do. Okay, so let's just decorate this one very quickly, very simply. So I have some of my advertisement washi tape here. We will have some of this, I think. And I'll just take that piece there. And I'm just going to put that down there. And then I have got some bits from Tim Holtz. So these are, it's an ephemera pack, and it's called a Thrift Shop. I haven't really used this. I had it for Christmas, so let's stick that down and let's tip out some of these, see what we've got, what we can put on here. That will be interesting. Some of the pieces are quite big. We just want something quite small, don't we? That would be quite nice. So that's a nice colour, actually. So that's quite nice. Nice pieces, actually, these are. There's a nice little butterfly there. That would be quite nice. Maybe just have that. So let's get our vintage photo, and we'll just ink round these. I quite like this. I think we'll use this. Let's get those out of the way. So we're going to really ink round that one quite darkly because I want it to show up. And I'm maybe going to put that underneath, something underneath it is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I think we'll stick that there. So I think as it's card on card, I'll use my stronger glue, Beacon 3-in-1, and I'm just going to pop that there like so, and then get my scraps over here, and let's see if we've got any bits of, I've still got a little basket here with some bits and pieces from previous projects, so I just keep bringing them out. That's quite nice. I wonder if that would show up. So either that or I get my webbing out. That's usually my go-to, the webbing. Just wondered if I had any dyed cheesecloth in here. I was using some. There's a tiny bit there. That would be perfect, I think. Got a bit of that. Just give that a bit of a frayed edge. And I'm just literally going to pop that down across the top there. Okay, so that would be nice. Or shall we put that over here? Okay, so we've got that. Have we got anything else that we can layer upon? That's a bit of bronze. We'll make a little layer. That's quite nice. I like that. Okay, let's stick those down. Just fraying the edge of that. Although it's a bit of organza, it's really lovely. It's got like a bronze sheen to it. So that's quite nice, I think. It's quite simple, but I like that. Okay, let's just put the lid on that, and then ink around this. I think we'll stick to the plan. And have that there. So I've got to make sure that I can glue it down so that it tucks in and out. Or you could just have some free flowing string around it. I've got some bits, but I don't know if they're long enough. Not quite. I may have to find some string off camera. Oh, I've got this lovely coloured sort of, oh, I don't know if it's wool or what it is actually. So let's you can always change this. if you don't want to, if you decide you don't want this tie, you can change it. You know, it's entirely up to you what you use. Just for speed, I'm just going to pop mine round like that, and then that allows that to open. So there we have the first one, which has been made using paper bags. Okay, right, okay. So I may use my circle that I punched out. I may not, I don't know. I'll see. It depends what I put in it, but what I've essentially made this for is for the half spine little journal made using papers from Tim Holtz pads. So I kind of don't want it too bulky, but it could fit nicely into a pocket like this, you see, with some bits in at the back. Okay, so that's what I've made it for. That's why I've used scraps of Tim Holtz. Okay, so the next one we're going to try and make, and I've never made one of these either, is the same type of thing, but we're going to so put that one over there for now. Going to use book page inside for the concertina pockets. Okay, so the bags are easy because they're already pockets, aren't they? Already made into pockets. This one's going to be a bit harder, so I have to decide what size do we want. As it's an 8-inch piece. This again is from Tim Holtz pad. I think we'll use, so we'll turn it that way and we'll have this up like this, so we've got that nice collage side up here. And we might make one a little bit smaller, so I think I'm going to cut it in half. So we've got 2 4-inch strips. I'm only going to make one today. I just wanted to show you. So we've got 4-inch strips here. Okay. So this is going to be our concertina pocket. And this time, I think I want a bigger flap, I think. So which one's got the most interest? If we have it up that way, I quite like that one flapping down better. So if we had, say, if we sort of have a bit of a bigger flap this time going on. So okay, so I'm just going to mark this with a pencil if I can find it. Just going to mark it there because that's where I want the bottom fold to come up to, roughly. It's only rough. It's not rock. You know, it's not got to be accurate. It's exactly the size you want yours to be. Yes. So I already have lost the mark. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to score this on this little scoreboard. So I want the flap to be a bit bigger, so I'm going to score it there. So if I put it round the right way, I've scored it at 1 1/4 inches, and then the next notch along from that. So that gives me my top gusset. And then I'm going to find my mark, which is here, and I say, yeah, so that's my top. Okay, so I want to gusset in here next, so I'm going to just see, where does that come? Okay, let me get my pencil. I'm sure there's a more accurate way of doing this, but I'm just going to mark mine kind of here roughly, and I want to put a notch, not a notch, I want to put a small gusset in. Let's do, so I'm going to score it again at 4.5, and then the next notch on from that. So you've got that, and that width of that is, so the width of the gusset is 2/16 of an inch, or in centimetres that would be just under, it's about 1/4 of a centimetre. Okay, let's just put that away for a minute. Okay, so now I'm just going to burnish my score marks. I'm just going to lay that flat, the first one, and just gently burnish, because this is card and I don't want it to crack. And then I'm going to find my other one. I'm going to use my ruler because I find that easier, and I'm just going to bend that up there initially, and then I've got my little gusset. Okay, and then I can fold that down like that. So that's that one, the top, and then let's do the same. So use the ruler, it's just as easy when you can't see it properly. So we've got our first one here, which we're going to just gently burnish, and then the second one above it here. It's hard to see when it's busy paper. I like to just fold it up and burnish it, which I'm finding a bit tricky. Ooh, okay, let's put the ruler back, and yeah, I'm struggling to find the lines. So that's the first one we've done, and this is the second one here. So that should be okay now. Right, that's it. That's fine. I seem to have managed to get this bit a little bit too high. I think that's because I've folded it. Right, I'm just going to refold it. Okay. Oh, goodness me, how fiddly is this? Okay, so alright, that should be it now. Okay. It's still not as burnished as I'd like it to be. Isn't that funny? I'm a bit of a stickler for, I just want to get that right. Okay. Alright, I think that's it now. So it should be, I'm just going to take a tiny slither off the top, because oh, I don't know why I've made such a faff of folding this one. I don't know. The other one was much easier, I think. So that should fit in there. Okay, so we've got our cover. Okay, so now we need to measure our book pages. So I've literally got some paper here out of a book, and first of all I am going to trim the edges, and of course it's going to be too tall, isn't it? Oh, actually what we can do is trim the bottom. So I've got 3 pages here because I'm not sure if I want 3 kind of concertina pockets in this or not. So just lining that up. Now that's lovely, that, so I probably keep that. Okay, and now we can trim down the side before we kind of make anything. Okay, so we want the pockets inside to be less than this, so I'm just going to eyeball this. Just get those lined up. I'm just going to check that now. Straighten that up. I don't think the book page, I've had this with this book before, I don't think the book page is quite right. Okay, so I want it to be inside. So again, I'm going to have a bit sticking out, a bit overlapping here, and I want a bit overlapping there. So I want my width to be about there. Why do I always lose the line, my mark? Okay, let's measure this. Oh, I'm making a big faff of this, aren't I? That's 4 inches. So I want it sort of 2/16 under either side. So 4/16 under 4 inches. So, okay, let's go this way. And we want it about there. And here, like so. Okay, so that should be the right width. It is. And we only want the pockets. Just move that to one side. We only want the pockets to come up there. And okay, so let's fold this up on itself before I cut it. So these are going to be quite small pockets, I think, for this one. Okay, so I want mine to be, where did I put the pencil? Well, that pencil has a life of its own. I want it to be about there, folded up that way. Okay, so I'm just wondering whether to put a little gusset in these. So that's, I'm just doing that by eye, like that. And then I'm just going to cut it at the mark. Make sure it's all straight. Okay. I think I made a bit of a faff out of that one. There was no need to. Okay, so I've got my pockets and I'm going to use the 3 sheets. So I've got 3 pieces here. Okay, so we take them apart and turn them in the other way because I like the writing to be upright, even though there are only pockets. I just like the writing to be up the right way, so that's one. Okay, and then this one. This book is the 1900s ladies, or a lady, the 1900s lady, and every time I look at any piece of the writing, catch a phrase in here, it reminds me now of Downton Abbey, because I'm watching that at the moment. I never watched it when it first came out. Sometimes, you know, I think, I don't know, I just didn't feel like watching it at the time it came out, but I know it's a few seasons in, so now I'm up to 1924, you see. So this kind of reminds me, it's all changing. They've just bought a wireless set, and they acted as if it was something, you know, something. So there's my little just eyeballed gusset at the bottom for my pockets. So I hope I'm doing this right. So now we've got to glue these not only to each other, but we've got to glue the sides. Okay, so I'm just going to take the first one, take my glue stick, and I'm just going to run a very thin bead, because this is quite fine paper. So this should, I don't want it too wide, just the edge. And so that's the first thing you do, line them up and seal them down. That's quite fiddly. Oh, I'm finding it quite fiddly anyway. Okay, like so. So yeah, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Okay, so that's my first pocket, so we leave that to dry. Well, if we don't try, we don't learn, do we? So I haven't watched anyone making it with book page, so I'm just really making it up as I go along, I think. I'm sure lots and lots of people have made these. Oh, don't want it to stick, do I? Okay. Let's just do this one. I don't know if that gusset's a good idea when you've got to glue the sides. Oh well. We shall see. It's not, you know, going to be a major crime if I make it wrong, is it? I should just go away and find someone who's made them. Okay, so now I want to stick these I want to stick these to each other, so I'm just wondering whether to put a thumb hole in them, actually. Just really my own kind of thought. That'd be quite nice. Just a small one. I hope I can do it with this. Oh, it worked. I'm always scared of this circle punch now, because it sometimes doesn't work properly. And I'm always wary that it's not going to work. Just giving it a little bit of distressing along the top, like so. Okay, so, okay, right. So sticking that one to that one, and then I shall stick that one to that one, like that. And then we'll stick them to the front and the back. So let's go. So again, I'm just going to do one sort of block down the middle, like that. And I'm sticking that one on there, like that. Okay, and then we'll do this one. And just getting that lined up like that. Oh, I hope this is going to work. It looks like it is. Hey presto, look at that. Right, now let's get it inside here. Okay, so all we want to do is glue the back panel. And we're going to glue that down to the back. Where's my gusset? So I've got to get it all lined up inside like so. Oh gosh, this is very sticky and tricky. Okay, and then we want to stick the front down onto this front pocket. Oh, I'll get around the corners, aren't I? Let's do that before we stick that down. So you don't have to do this. I just like the look of it. Let's be as quick as I can. And then I'm sticking that front piece down to there like that. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's fine. That's a nice 3-pocket one made with book page. So okay, so now we've got a bigger flap. I'll make a button with a grommet. So we've already got one. That's a nice number there, number 6. Okay, so do we want that side? Or do we want this side? 6 or 9. That's nice. Okay, we'll do one more. I like 3. So okay. Just going to ink round those quickly. I've already done that one. And then I'm just going to have it up as a 9, I think. So I want to take my awl and find the one that's not blunt. I use my glue book for this. So make sure you put a hole with your awl, put your item down on somewhere, you know, that's not have it as a 6 because it doesn't, I don't think it's going to show up. So I want it in the centre, and I'm just going to make a hole in it like that through all 3, like so. I'm thinking actually of doing one more to make it extra strong. So, and then I'll glue them together in pairs. I think that's what I'll do. So, okay, so I just put that one with those. Put that back down on there. Make sure they're all together. Pop that all through. So see what I mean? So it goes through all of them. Okay, and then we'll just get a nice colour. Brad. I think the gold one would be quite nice. Or maybe that bronzy colour. Okay, so let's glue these together now. Into 2 pairs. So I mean, you can put your hole in after you've glued them, really, if you want to. Doesn't really matter which way round you do it. I just, because I want to put some twine or something round, I want them in 2 pairs so that that's it. Make sure that hole's okay. So then that brad is going to go through there. See, it needs to be a bit bigger, the hole. I wonder if I've got a smaller one actually. Don't know. All the small ones appear to be at the bottom, and I don't think I've got a small bronze one. So let's get a small one there. Yeah, I think the small one's much better, thinking about it. So I need to get, there's one there. Oh, they're so fiddly, these. As soon as you find one, it seems to run away with itself, and before you know it, it's gone right down to the bottom. So this will be better, and this will be easier. So there, that looks better. So now I just want to make sure, just take that out for a minute. So I'm going to pop it there. I'm just going to measure halfway. So we know it's 2 inches. I'd rather make sure that it's in the middle. So I'm going to pop that there. And so we'll have it as a 9 then, I think. That will be fine. And that's going to look like that. So I'm just going to pop this down. Make sure it's kind of centered top and bottom, and where my mark is, which is okay, I can see it. Right, so there's my mark. there. And pop another hole in there like so, and just go through it again. Make sure you mind your fingers. Line up the holes, pop in the brad, and then we can open it out. Give it a press down like so. So I tend to use the head of the awl to really press it down like that. Okay, right, okay, so that's done. If you want to ink round this, we didn't ink round the other one, but we can just quickly ink round. Okay, so we've got that. There's our little pocket then. Pocket envelope, pocket, accordion pocket, I think, because I want to put it in this folder as well. Journal that I'm making. So what do we want to pop on this one? Let's see what we got. Anything in this pile? Quite nice label. Don't want to spend too much time messing about with bits. Find a Tracy Fox label. Let's find a. Oh, that's nice. That's an E. It's just going to find a green one, actually. A green written on one that's got green writing on it. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, I don't think I'm making a very good video today, am I? It's a bit hodgepodge, really. That doesn't go now, that E. What else have we got? Have we got a nice... No, we don't want that. Let's see. Quickly look for something that might jump out at me, or may not. Okay, right. Just wondering about that there. So this is quite nice. I'm just going to trim off that white. There's a bit of an excess there. Gosh, I've got very itchy eyes, a bit itchy nose today. And I've spent about 4 hours in my garden finishing off gardening, you know, planting, weeding, where the bird food is scattered by some of the birds. It's sprouted, so we've had a few grasses, things like that, and a flower bed underneath and in some of my pots. So I've been busy moving some plants around. Sometimes they can sort of set themselves in the wrong place in the border, I think. You know, I've got some acrolegias, and they're very good at put that there. They're very good at seeding themselves, actually, and they pop up. I do love them, and they pop up because, you know, you just leave them in every year. but they do pop up here and there, and they're quite tall, and you know, they're not always in the right place. So I'm just using these labels, and let's pop that there. I think it's quite nice. Okay, that's enough of that. Right, made a right mess on my desk as usual. So I want some string or something to go around there before I say goodbye. So let's just get some out. So I have got a piece here that's probably the right length, I think. So all we're going to do is we're going to tie this one round here. Oh, everything's fiddly today for me. I don't know why. So I'm going to tie the frayed end underneath there like so, and that can go around there. That can then, so I'm going to move that underneath, get that tucked right the way around, and then that can then be cut off like so. Okay, right, that's that. So you'll be pleased to know that's all over, that torture. I'll just pop those back on my shelf, put everything away. Okay, so I've made 2 concertina envelopes or pockets. So this is a small one, so it's going to act as a pocket. So I've made them out of Tim Holtz scrapbook pad. This one just has a binding around it, and you open it up and it's made out of paper bags, and you've got your pockets there. And that one's made a 4-pocket one, and we just pop that back round like so. You can use whatever binding you want, sari or string or whatever. I just thought those colours went very nicely with that, and I've decorated it here and here. And then this one we've actually put a brad button on, and then that just comes out. So that I may glue that underneath there, so that's just as a fix to that. And you open it out, and this one's made with book page inside, and that's ideal for a little journal because it's not too bulky. It's got a little gusset, they both have. But that is it, and we've just decorated it with some labels and things. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too confusing, but I always wanted to make some, so I'm glad I have now. And I think the more you make them, the more you kind of practice different styles, don't you? So perhaps next time I might go for thicker bags if I have some, you know, and maybe thicker book page. But that is essentially how you make them. So I hope you enjoyed that. Take care everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.